Do excuse me, Professor. Professor, sorry to disturb you again. Professor, I have brought you something that should be of interest to you. Look.
What have you got there, then? Let's see. An effigy of a mammoth. But this is Hans' doll, is it not? Yes, of course it is. How on earth did you... Oh, my God. It's in my hands. It exists. It really exists. Please do excuse me. I'm deeply, deeply moved.
You see? Your Hans and my Vorarlberg heir are one and the same.
This is incredible. After all these years, how can I ever thank you, my dear? Oh, I must waste no time. I'm off to my laboratory. I must study this carefully. May I borrow your treasure a moment?
Well, actually,
Don't worry, miss. I will take the greatest care of it. But I need to study it. You see, it has such importance to me that this very afternoon I shall deliver an impromptu lecture to my students about this very object. If you are interested in Hans Vorarlberg, then it is essential that you attend.
do you think so?
Obviously. Give me your telephone number and I will call you the moment my lecture begins. I will return you your doll at the end. You have my word. What is it you want to know, miss?
I would have loved to study at a university like this.
No age is too old to start learning, my dear.
Maybe, but you know, the eternal student and all.
You prefer being an eternal lawyer?
I have more important things to deal with. Live problems, not things that died millions of years ago.
Everyone has their own priorities, my child.
What would you say about seeing Hans Vorarlberg again? After all, you could come with me and help me find him.
Young lady, you are very kind. I'm far too old for such escapades.
Your Hans Vorarlberg sounds uncannily like the one I'm looking for. Can you tell me a little bit more about him?
He was always a mystery to me. He never said very much, never quite seemed...
I have just had a very interesting little discussion with the rectors. It seems that you are perfectly aware of the existence of Sauvignon plants here in Barrackstadt. Apparently, you find them very tasty.
Not at all. I never drink wine. I prefer to make it. Production to me is much more satisfying.
So you don't deny?
Why, seeing as the rectors have let you into our little secret, I even converted part of the laboratory into a fermenting room for Ammer's own Sauvignon wine production. Of course, I cannot produce wine in large quantities. We have to be discreet, after all.
And what about your students? Haven't they noticed anything?
Oh, you know how students are. After all, a chemical reaction is still a chemical reaction, even when grapes are involved. And malolactic fermentation takes time. Sometimes strange odors begin to waft through the corridors. Then I just burn a little sulfur.
Incredible. Totally incredible. You are really something, Professor Pons. Really something.
I'm not sure whether I should take that as a compliment.
Professor... Sorry.
How...
You told me earlier about a lecture on some ancient Siberian tribe called the Ooks or something?
The Yukols, my dear. Careful not to confuse them with the Ukistran people of Central Asia.
Do excuse me. I wanted to know if your lecture is going to start soon.
Your eagerness to learn delights me, my dear. But I haven't finished studying this marvelous mammoth effigy yet. Don't worry, I will call you. See you later.
What would you say about seeing... I'll leave you in peace. I hope I haven't disturbed you too much.
Sorry? No, not at all, my dear child.
Excuse me, Station Master, but I need you again.
Can't you see I am very, very busy?
No.
Well, I am. Very busy indeed. But, okay, I think I can give you a minute of my time.
The sailors on the barge reckon they could help me tow my train out of here, but they're asking for money. You couldn't possibly help me out with a few dollars, could you? I would be very grateful.
Miss, really, I'm surprised at you. Asking for money from a total stranger. Oh.
Right. I need cash. I need it to get my train out of your station, because my train is getting in your way, disturbing your birds, and upsetting your bosses.
Look, lady, I'm only a station master. I got my problems, and you got yours.
You have been playing with me, haven't you? You knew very well there were forest Sauvignon berries in the station garden.
No, not at all. I've never seen your Sauvignon things.
You don't have to lie to me. I know all about it. You and the rectors are in cahoots, and the professor's lab has been turned into a distillery. You've all got a nice little smuggling racket on the side.
Smuggling racket? Hey, lady, you're going a bit far there. It's just a little on-the-side thing we got going, that's all. It's just for ourselves. Hey, honest.
You should be ashamed of yourselves. Aren't you worried about the reputation of this fine university? The authorities should be informed of this.
But we haven't done anything wrong. It's not a crime.
Can you open the gate to the garden, please?
Oh, sure. No problemo. Right away, miss. There you are. Please feel free to visit the garden at your leisure. And there was just one thing. I'm not a liar. Not really. Just mum's the word. There is the reputation of the university to think about, and I have superiors, and I have to do what I can.
I understand. Don't you worry.
Oh, thank you, miss. Miss, please, excuse me.
Yes?
You know, I want to apologize for our little misunderstanding. I brought you a bottle of wine. Bergstadt Sauvignon. Very good year. Let me know what you think.
I'm very touched. Thank you.
Good luck on your journey, lady.
Thank you. I'm sorry to disturb you.
What can I do for you, miss?
I've just been to see the rectors, and...
Well,
I won't disturb...
welcome to...
Gentlemen, forgive me for disturbing you again, but I have a little problem.
A little problem, a little problem. Everyone has little problems now, you know.
They are kept to oneself, and they don't stop the world from turning.
Nor trains from leaving stations.
Gentlemen, I have managed to repair your university bandstand.
The bandstand is playing again. This is marvelous news.
We are really very grateful indeed.
Yes, very grateful indeed. We will look back on your visit with much fondness in our hearts.
And now let us in turn honor our word. How much is it you need, miss?
$100, if it's not too much to ask.
Something like
We agree to grant you the aforementioned sum, miss. You may now leave with your train.
And while we're on the subject, when will you be leaving?
Yes, because now you should relocate your train as quickly as possible.
May I call once more upon your generosity? There's still some money I need.
What? Hand out money like that without any valid pretext? You are singularly lacking in common sense, miss.
You certainly know how to fritter away other people's money, don't you?
Your behavior is becoming quite unbecoming.
But isn't there some other service I can perform for you?
There's nothing we can do for you, young lady. We have no other chores that need doing.
We have to watch our university's expenditure. Its resources are not bottomless, you know.
And our philanthropy, too, has its limits. My word!
Here we are, busy chatting, and look at the clock. It's tea time.
Already? My word, doesn't time fly by?
Thank you for a charming visit, miss.
And thank